like, comment, and subscribe for more content.
Ooh, what's up, guys? Welcome to this edition of a Funko Popcast. I'm DK Wrestler.
And I'm MD Shady.
And in today's podcast, we got quite a bit of sweet Funko Pop announcements we've gotten the last week and the last few weeks, actually. Funko's been really kicking up their game on a bunch of Funko Pop announcements for the past week. But anyways, so for the podcast today, we will kick off with the segment, What's the Haps?, following by the Funko Pop announcements from the last week, which range from Wednesday, September 2nd, up until yesterday as we record this, which would have been Tuesday, September 8th. And any of the Funko Pop announcements that were announced today, such as the Stitch with the tricycle for the animation drop that's happening on the Funko shop, and then what else got announced? It was the Disney 65th anniversary, like Wave 2, I think it is, where there's a few pop rides and a few singles pops that got announced today. That'll be discussed on next week's podcast. After we talk about this week's Funko Pop announcements, MD and I will actually be making our predictions for New York Comic Con 2020 exclusive pops, which I know that we did a video that was 5 bold predictions for New York Comic Con 2020, but that was mainly for like what I think would happen for the convention itself rather than pops in general. But without further ado, let's kick off with our regular segment of What's the Haps?, which obviously will kick off like usual with MD Shady. So what's the Haps, MD?
Same old pretty much, but there has been some new things happening in my life, I guess. I recently just bought the PGA Tour 2K21 golf game, and man, this game is insane. If you're a fan of golf, I highly recommend it. It is the best golf game I've ever played. It's super fun. Me and one of my coworkers play online, and I'm proud to say I got a couple of hole-in-ones in my bag already, so that's nice. I really like that game. And I plan on getting the new Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1 and 2 remastered because I hear that it is really, really great. And like, instead of just remastering the game, they've kind of added to it a bit where it's similar to newer games, but it still has that old style feel. And the characters in it are the same characters, but they're the age that they are now. So like Tony Hawk is like his age now, and then like Nigel Houston isn't just a little kid. He's actually like in his 30s or whatever he is now. So that's really, really cool. So I do plan on picking that up, maybe even within the next couple days. Show-wise, I've been watching Series of Unfortunate Events on Netflix. The 3rd season and final season came out pretty recently. I'm not sure exactly when it was, but man, this show is awesome. If you don't know, Count Olaf is played by
Neil Patrick Harris.
Neil Patrick Harris, yeah, I wanted to say Barney Stinson. And he plays such a great Count Olaf. Honestly, I would say better than Jim Carrey, who played Count Olaf in the movie, of course. And I'm actually on the final episode right now. It's actually just paused on my TV right now. And there's so many good things I could say about the show. It's so hard to watch, and it's funny, too, because even the theme song just keeps repeating, like, look away, like, you don't want to watch the show, it's terrible, only bad things happen. And then that's exactly what happens throughout the whole show. It's just bad stuff keeps on happening to the Baudelaire orphans, and I love it. The show is amazing. The new season of Family Guy that just came on Netflix recently is great so far. I'm about 6 to 8 episodes in, and it's so funny. They talk about how they're owned by Fox and like how they're going to be owned by Disney. There's one episode where they talk about how they need to like change the show up. So they do like little segments if like the show is like focused around like Chris Griffin or Peter Griffin or Meg or like Brian or whoever. It's been a really good season so far. It's crazy that they can keep up. I think they're on like season 18 now, which is just insane. Besides that, I've been golfing like always. But really, that's about it, I guess. So what's the haps with you, DK?
What have I been doing? So gym like regular, playing Pokemon Go, which yesterday on my way to the mall, I actually caught a Weedle. I couldn't believe it. And I think I was even yelling off the top of my lungs that I caught a Weedle. And I feel like someone was seeing me doing that. But yeah, I caught a Weedle. And now I just have to defeat another Team Rocket grunt. And then I complete like that set of tasks before moving on to whatever the next one is. As terms to TV shows, movies, which there haven't been really much because I've been super focused on the channel, doing videos, especially because we are now doing the 250 subscriber giveaway, which I should have mentioned that during the intro. So if you guys haven't yet, last week we revealed our 250 subscriber giveaway, which the winner will get a previews exclusive glow-in-the-dark I Am Iron Man with Venomized mystery minis of Thanos and Captain America from that set. It's going well so far. So obviously, if you don't know about our giveaway, which is kind of last minute for you, because if you're listening to this the day of release on Friday, you have now less than 24 hours before the giveaway ends, which it ends Saturday, September 12th at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And then I think we're actually going to reveal the winner of the giveaway on next week's edition of a Funko Popcast. So stay tuned next week to find out the winner of the giveaway. But other than that, so TV shows and movies. So first one, I don't remember if I actually watched it this week or it was last week, but I forgot to mention it, was out of the random movies I'd randomly think of, like, what's a movie I haven't seen in a long time? And I decided to watch. It was Buzz Lightyear of Star Command. Now, if you guys don't know what that is, it was like this spin-off movie to like Toy Story. And even the beginning of the movie, it's based in Andy's room where they're going to watch the movie. It was pretty cool watching the movie, and it's weird knowing like this movie never went to theaters. It went straight to DVD, but after rewatching it, I can kind of see how they decided not to put it in theaters, because I felt like it could have potentially been a flop in the theaters. So I think it was the right decision that it was straight to DVD.
Straight to VHS.
Yeah, true, because it was the year 2000 and DVD, I don't even think was a thing yet in the year 2000. You had to wait a few years for a DVD. This past weekend was another wrestling pay-per-view, but it wasn't WWE. It was AEW All Out. Not a bad event. And then finally re-added to Netflix, School of Rock. Oh my God. I was so mad when Netflix Canada took off School of Rock from Netflix. And now this month, just last week, they re-added School of Rock back to Netflix. And I actually watched it twice this week because one was on Netflix, and then I guess I was in my living room watching TV and I wanted to see what was on, and then Family Channel had School of Rock playing. And then last night I watched Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 3. It was all right. I don't think it was better than even the first two. They did this whole time traveling thing, which I wasn't really a fan of. So Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, just leave it to Back to the Future and probably Rick and Morty for those time traveling things. Yeah, so let's move on now to the Funko Pop announcements for this past week. What has happened from Wednesday, September 2nd to September 4th. That was the Friday for announcements, because there was a lot of announcements for that week. So kicking off, we have a gold variant of the MTV Moon Person, which is a Funko Hollywood exclusive, and it obviously released that day at Funko Hollywood on September 2nd. And at this point, it's probably sold out. I don't know. There'll probably be a restock at some point, but at the moment, from what I've seen, it's sold out at Funko Hollywood. September 3rd, Funko had announced a new set of Halo Pops for the, I think it's upcoming game Halo Infinite. We have common pops of Spartan Mark 7 with Commando Rifle, Master Chief with Assault Rifle, Spartan Mark 7 with Commando Rifle, and it's a Deco variant, which also includes a game add-on. And then we got ourselves exclusive Funko Pops of Master Chief with Assault Rifle, which has this kind of like camo outfit. I know there's specific names for these, but I don't exactly remember them, which this will be exclusive to Best Buy. A Target exclusive translucent Master Chief with Assault Rifle. And then we have an EB Games / GameStop exclusive Spartan Mark 7 with Shock Rifle, in which these are expected to release as early as November 2020. And then announced on that same day, announced by Toys R Us Canada, we got ourselves their own exclusive of Jeffrey as Superman, which this is available for pre-order now, or at least, actually, I think the pre-order sold out, but it was available for pre-order. Once again, on that same day, Box Lunch had announced their own exclusive Funko Pop of an Artist Series Scooby-Doo, which is unknown of when this will release because it was just simply a post of saying, coming soon. Then on September 4th, Funko had announced, or I should say they have re-announced the Marvel Avengers video game Funko Pops, but it added a new pop, and that is of, I think it's pronounced MODOK, or it's simply MODOK, which that is available now along with the rest of the Marvel Avengers Funko Pops. Then on that same day, Funko had announced the 5th of 6 Battle at Echo Base Empire Strikes Back Pop Deluxes, which this one is of Princess Leia with the diagram. And this, obviously, like the rest, will be Amazon exclusive. This is available for pre-order now, but it's expected to release as early as November 2020. And then the last set of Funko Pops we're going to talk about for this portion of the podcast is a brand new wave of Dragon Ball Z, which we have common pops of Super Saiyan Gohan, a 10-inch Shenron, Child Vegeta, first appearance Super Saiyan Goku, 100% final form Frieza, Evil Boo, and Majin Vegeta, with exclusive pops with the already announced, and we talked about this a few months ago, of the Funimation exclusive glow-in-the-dark and metallic 10-inch Shenron, and then new exclusive pops of a glow-in-the-dark Entertainment Earth exclusive Super Saiyan Gohan, Kamehameha Kid Buu with its own 1-in-6 glow-in-the-dark chase, which will be exclusive to Galactic Toys. And then we got ourselves a glow-in-the-dark Super Saiyan Goku, which will be exclusive to Go Games and Toys. And these are expected to release also as early as November 2020. So the MTV Moon Person, the gold variant, it's not bad. I kind of, in a way, like the gold on this, but at the same time, I do like the silver because that's usually what you see with like the awards. I hope they don't keep making variants like, all right, let's make a blue one, a red one, a green one, maybe even a bronze one to go with this gold right here. Then we got the Halo Infinite pops, which these are pretty detailed. It's cool that we're getting more Halo pops, especially because the video game coming out. These are some pretty cool molds. I do like the colors going on with the Deco Spartan Mark 7. I think that's really cool, but I do like the exclusive pops. The best one, in my opinion, though, is the Best Buy exclusive, just because of the way that that camo looks. And I hope the paint job's a nice job well done by Funko. The translucent, I surprisingly like for the fact that in Halo, there is like the kind of invisible active camo skin where you go invisible to try to sneak up on enemies and all that. So I remember doing that when I used to play Halo back in the day. And then I do like this GameStop exclusive mainly because of the rifle, because all the other ones are the same for rifles mostly. That looks really nice. And then just the overall paint job is pretty cool. Jeffrey as Superman, this one's all right. I mean, I'm sure a lot of people who love the Ad Icons lineup, they're probably going to get this. I know a lot of Americans already really want this pop. And then the Artist Series Scooby Doo. I kind of like the way that this looks just because it's obviously imitating the colors of the mystery van. You got like the nice blue and green colors with the kind of orangey like little flowers on it. I think that's pretty cool. It kind of pops out really well with this box that they have for the Scooby Doo pops. The Modoc, or whatever it's supposed to be pronounced as, super detailed. I kind of wish I knew about this pop before I did, I think it was last week's top 5 Marvel Avengers video game Funko Pops, because I think I would have added this just because of the amount of detail that's going on, and it's a new character. Kind of looks like Dr. Octopus just because of the arms and all that, but it's a pretty cool looking pop. The Princess Leia with the diagram for the Battle at Echo Base set. I honestly think that this is like the worst out of the 6 that are coming out, just because, you know, you have the Wampa, which is really sweet in detail. You got the Han Solo, which is such a memorable scene. The flocked Chewbacca, the flock's a really nice touch, and even the probe droid, which no one really thought would be really made into a Funko Pop. But then you got like this Princess Leia that's going on, which obviously it was super predictable when looking at the silhouettes, but when you compare all of them, this would be like the least favorite out of the entire set. But at least they're going to end off by most likely announcing a Darth Vader with Snow Trooper as the last pop, and it'll probably be announced next month. The Dragon Ball Z pops. Now, these are some pretty cool pops, honestly. Very colorful. The Shenron is really, really great. I love the detail involved with Shenron. I think that is like the most hyped pop in this entire set. I do like Evil Boo. I think that one looks really cool. And then the bases that are involved with, I think it's Majin Vegeta. Really, really nice. The exclusive pops, obviously, I've mentioned my opinion on how sweet it is to make a metallic and glow in the dark pop, and it looks really, really great on Shenron. Not really a fan of the fact that basically all of the exclusives are like just a glow in the dark variant of a common version of a pop. I mean, I guess it's all right because the green looks really nice on Gohan, I don't know how this Kid Boo glow in the dark chase is going to look like. I feel like pink is one of those colors that like it might not be the greatest when glow in the dark. It's not like a green or a yellow. And I know from past experience, blue isn't the greatest color when glow in the dark, but this pink, I'm curious to see how this turns out.
Yeah, so the gold moon person, I'm not really sure how I feel about this because I do love gold. I love gold! But I do already have the normal MTV moon person, and I think that one was just kind of good enough. So I don't really have a huge opinion on this pop right now, I guess. The Halo Pops, these are sweet. I love Halo Pops. They look really, really good. I think Master Chief is kind of like the perfect candidate for a pop because I think having his helmet being big on a small body just looks really, really great that way. So I always love when they do Halo Pops. And I would agree with you that the Best Buy one does look really, really cool. And hopefully, like you said, that paint job turns out well. And even if you look like right on where I guess his mouth would be, it looks like there's like a silhouette, like kind of shadow of Master Chief or like an enemy of some sort, which is really cool. There's so much detail in that paint job, and I think that's going to be a great pop. And hopefully I can get that one because I don't even think I have a Best Buy exclusive pop in my collection yet. The see-through Target exclusive, that one's really great too. I do love when they do like the see-through Halo Pops because it makes a lot of sense. The GameStop one too, you said with the flamethrower, it looks really, really cool as well. The one, I forget what you called it, but the one that comes with the game add-on.
Spartan Mark 7.
Yeah, the paint job on this looks all right. It's kind of cool how there's the blue with the yellow, but having the game add-on is really, really cool because now you have people that might not necessarily be a Funko fan, but they really want that game add-on, so they're buying this pop. So that's a smart kind of marketing tool, I guess. The Jeffrey as Superman, kind of seen this coming. I mean, I guess it took a whole year to get it. I thought it was going to be sooner than this. But as soon as they did the Batman, I was like, okay, there's going to be a Superman. But yeah, it's weird, and I guess it kind of sucks for Americans who will have a harder time getting this, because normally us Canadians are the ones having harder times getting pops. But now I guess the roles are reversed for this pop. But I don't know, it's all right. I think the Jeffrey Giraffe pops are kind of I don't think we need any more after this, unless they do something like really cool that's right up my alley. But I'm not a huge fan of the Jeffrey giraffes in costumes. I prefer just regular Jeffrey. The Scooby-Doo box lunch exclusive, this artist series one, I'm kind of not sure how I feel about this one as well. At first, when I first saw it, I was like, okay, that makes sense because it's the colors of the Mystery Machine, but it looks ugly. But the more I look at it and like as I zoom in on the photo and I kind of look at like the line work on where like the black is in between where the blue and the green meets, I think this is actually done pretty well. And I know that this would look really, really cool with the collection of the rest of the Scooby-Doo Pops. So I will definitely give it that. The Avengers game character, you said his name's MODOK?
It's something like
Okay.
that.
Yeah, same thing that you said. I instantly thought of Dr. Octopus because of those arms, but clearly it is not him. But I'm interested to see who this character is because this pop is so interesting. There's so much detail, and it really makes me want to play the game now. So I guess that's kind of the point. And I would agree with you again. This Leia is unfortunately my least favorite in the set so far, and I'm sure it's not going to be better than that Darth Vader with the snowtrooper that we're definitely getting. I do think this is a really good idea for a pop. I just don't know if it needed to be part of this set for the Echo base because it makes sense because it's a huge moment. But I think this would have been just a cool pop on its own without that base, and then we've seen something else. Dragon Ball pops, man, I used to be so hyped when Dragon Ball pops would come out. And now, as they're getting more and more frequently added, which I've even seen on comments, people are like, wow, more Dragon Ball pops. Like, okay. Because it's just so many different versions of characters that we've already seen before, which makes sense because there's so many versions of every character in the show. But it's getting ridiculous, and the set's getting so hard to collect. I'm even thinking about just keeping maybe 3 or 4 Dragon Ball pops and not having the collection I have right now of like 20 or however many I have because they're coming out with sets like this where it's like 11 more pops. If I added my maths up correctly there, 11 more Dragon Ball pops, like that's kind of insane.
All right, so now we're going to move on to the next set of Funko Pops, which have been announced for the last couple of days from September 7th and September 8th. So, kicking off those announcements before we move on to the New York Comic Con 2020 predictions list that we're going to be making. Starting on September 7th, we have a Hot Topic exclusive spicy oodles for the Fantastic Plastic lineup now. This was available, like I think it's available where it wasn't a pre-order. It was go buy it and then it'll be shipped out probably next business day or whatever. So I don't think it was a pre-order. And if it was, I don't know when it would be expected to release, because by the time I got to it, it was sold out on Hot Topics website and there's no listing anymore. So hopefully there's some sort of restock. Then confirmed on the Funko app on September 8th is the Walgreens exclusive Scream Symbiote for, it would be the Marvel lineup and not actually the Venom lineup, which is available now at various Walgreens store, but is expected to release online soon. And then on that same day, also confirmed on the Funko app, is a Peter Venkman pop with a marshmallow splatter, which is a Walmart exclusive. And according to the Funko app, it is available now in stores. And then last but not least, the last Funko Pop we are discussing today. Holy crap. We got ourselves, Hot Topic had announced their own exclusive Funko Pop of the Ordinary Man variant of Ozzy Osbourne, which this pop is available for pre-order now and is expected to release as early as November 2020. So kicking off with the spicy Oodles. When I seen this, I was like, what? Like, this is nuts. And I'm saying nuts in a great way because I was a pretty big fan of the Oodles, like normal variant that came out, I think it was January actually, that released on the Funko shop. And honestly, I was like, man, that would actually be like the one pop I would get for the Fantastic Plastic lineup if I were to get one. And then it's sold out surprisingly in like minutes on the Funko shop, and it's gone up in value since. So it's like, all right, I can accept that I probably will never get this. But then we have, if I'm not mistaken, it's the first ever Fantastic Plastic Pop that is exclusive outside to the Funko shop, making this a spicy variant unlike the regular. This is like right up my alley. I love how they made the cup basically a big flame, and the chopsticks are red and black, and even the noodles are red, like it's spicy noodles. And this just looks so great, honestly. I feel like I need to get this. The Scream Symbiote. I actually showed off this pop in Monday's video technically because it was a part of the Toys R Us Funko Pop hunt where I showed off a bunch of new stock, including this pop, which at the time, the pop wasn't even announced by either Funko or Walgreens in any way. That Scream Funko Pop is really, really nice. And I'm really surprised, actually, that the pop did not come in a Venom box. But the colors are really nice, and it was really well done. And a lot of people are pretty hyped for this because people have been wanting Scream. Then the Peter Venkman with the marshmallow splatter. It's not a bad pop, honestly, especially because at first I thought there was like a single pop of Peter Venkman with the marshmallow splatter before, but there's not. That was a part of it was a San Diego Comic-Con, I think 2013, 2014, like 4-pack with the rest of the Ghostbusters, and they're all covered in marshmallow splatter. But then we got this Ozzy freaking Osbourne, the Prince of Darkness, the Godfather of Metal. Actually, I don't know if that's actually a nickname for him. I just thought of that off the top of my head. But man, I have been waiting for a re-release of an Ozzy Osbourne pop since when I started collecting. When the first pop of Ozzy came out, it was a couple years before I started collecting. I would like to say it's 2013 that the first one came out, where he has his like circle glasses. I'm not even mad for the fact that it is Ozzy Osbourne for what would be his brand new album that came out this year. So yeah, for those that might not know, oh, what's this Ordinary Man? Ordinary Man is the name of Ozzy's brand new album that came out this year, and it has the song that probably people would know, that's Under the Graveyard. I like this pop. I know there's some bad hype towards what I've seen so far because Funko officially announced this today on their social media platforms. They're using the exact body from the newer Alex DeLarge from Clockwork Orange, where he's got the cane and he's got the hat and everything. They don't think this looks like Ozzy. They think this looks like Johnny Depp when he played Willy Wonka in Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, which I kind of got that vibe going on now that people have mentioned it. I'm like, okay, that kind of does. But at the same time, it's like, first, he's got the wings, which is amazing. They're copying the front cover of the Ordinary Man album. And although in a perfect world, I would have rather had, let's say, a Blizzard of Oz, Diary of a Madman, Bark at the Moon variant before this one, at least we have an Ozzy Osbourne pop coming out, and I can't wait to get this because I need it.
Spicy Oodles was one of the ones where you sent me the photo before I even seen the announcement for it, and oh my god. There's too many good things to say about this pop, and there's only one really bad thing I can say about it. So I'll start with the good stuff. This pop looks amazing. It's so vibrant. I love how they decided to go with the black kind of cup where the lid is black and kind of like the rim is black as well. That makes the orange pop huge. And I love the usage that they did with the red, where it's with the chopsticks, the sandals, even like the little label, and then like the outlining of the fire. This pop just looks amazing. I really, really want this pop. The one thing that I don't necessarily agree with, the noodles themselves are red, just because they don't really go red. The liquid goes red more than the noodles, and the noodles would stay their normal, like pasta white, I guess I'd call them. Obviously, hot sauce is like an oil and you're adding it to water, so it doesn't really mix. What would have been huge is if they would have done the white noodles and then had like little speckles of red like on the noodles. I think that would have looked so great. Or even if they would have just made the noodles like not as red, maybe just a little bit of an orangey color, and
Yeah,
then
that
that would have
totally
been
makes
really,
sense.
really great. Yeah. The Scream symbiote, this is really, really cool. I love the character, and I think it translated pretty well for a pop. The usage of the red and the orange on the body, or the red and the yellow, I mean to say, on the body looks really, really great. The hair looks all right, and the face looks awesome as well. Overall, this is really, really great pop. The Dr. Peter Venkman, this is all right. One thing that I don't like about it is that the white, instead of it popping out from the pop itself, like how they did it with the mystery minis, it's just a flat white color where it kind of looks like an unfinished do-it-yourself pop, in my opinion. But the shapes of the marshmallow does look better than what we seen years ago with that 4-pack. I will give it that. And then, yes, huge announcement with this Ozzy Osbourne. And I would agree with you. Of course, we'd like to see A Bark at the Moon and Diary of a Madman and all these other great albums before this new one. But it also does make sense for Funko and for Ozzy because it's kind of like promotion for his new album, even though it obviously does not need to be promoted because Ozzy is already a huge megastar. But it is great to see an Ozzy pop, and I think we will be getting more Ozzy pops in the near future for sure, which is really, really cool. And I just wanted to say, if Kenny, if you're listening, thanks for trying to get this pop for us. We really appreciate it.
Yes, thank you, Kenny. What we mean by Kenny is Kenny from Top Pops. All right, but besides that point, I think it's now time to move on to New York Comic Con 2020 predictions, which, man, New York Comic Con, it is fastly approaching. Usually it's around beginning to mid September, and we're fastly approaching mid September. So I'm actually going to predict that we may be getting New York Comic Con pops as early as this Monday. So I think announcements could start dropping on Monday, ends on possibly Wednesday or Friday. But it's time to make our predictions, which, at least for, I think we both did this, where for our predictions for New York Comic Con, we had decided to go with like pops that have not been rumored. We wanted to stay away from the rumored pops because everybody's using, the rumored pops that people like Surlent pops and Disc pops are kind of supposedly leaking at the moment, such as Danny Phantom, Robin Sparkles from How I Met Your Mother, the last variant of Dwight, whether you want to call him the version 5 or version 3 of Recyclops. So I wanted to stay away from that per se, but I did list, I think, at least 5 pops. Yeah, so we'll kick off though with MD on his predictions for New York Comic Con 2020 exclusive pops.
You're a phony, a big fat phony. I'm just kidding. But I completely forgot that you told me that there was a possible rumor for Robin Sparkles, but I didn't necessarily do that. My first prediction was How I Met Your Mother, Robin Scherbatsky, so not the Sparkles version, not the Let's Go to the Mall, just a regular version. So we'll say that's my first prediction. I just wanted to get that out of the way. Second prediction from the McDonald's set, and that is Birdie. I've been saying ever since these pops got announced that we need a Birdie. That is one of my favorite characters from the McDonald's franchise, I guess you would say. I really think that having it be a New York Comic Con exclusive would be really cool. Then this one was kind of just a shot in the dark. It's an Alien Remix pop, and I think it would be a limited piece pop. So we're looking at like between 500 to 1,000 of them, and that would be a Chrome Buzz. I know me and you both would not like this pop, but I could easily see it being something that they do. But it is kind of a shot in the dark again. Then for number 4, it's a Scott Pilgrim pop, and that would be Stephen Stills. We haven't seen a pop of him, so I think that would be a good choice for a New York Comic Con pop. And then last but not least is a pop that I know me and you both want to see a remake of, and that is from the Sonic franchise, and of course, it's Knuckles.
Anyways, my predictions, a lot of them are not just like what I want per se, but I think could possibly happen at the same time because of like certain events and all that. So first one I wrote down, and I think I did this for a San Diego Comic-Con prediction, but I think, man, I feel like this has to come out for New York Comic-Con at this point, and that is a Winged Dragon of Ra Funko Pop for the Yu-Gi-Oh lineup. I just feel, why did they leave Winged Dragon of Ra out of like the 3 Egyptian god cards when they first announced them at New York Toy Fair back in February? Because I feel it was going to eventually be either a Funko Shop drop that would be released around the time that the Yu-Gi-Oh Pops would be released, or Comic-Con realistically. This next prediction is literally pun intended for this. It's a shot in the dark, and it's an Ozzy Osbourne pop. It's not involving the Shot in the Dark album. I wrote Flocked, Bark at the Moon, Ozzy Osbourne. It would be nuts. And I feel like you had mentioned, this is not the end of Ozzy Osbourne pops as terms to that Ordinary Man. There's definitely got to be some sort of deal going on there where they're going to be pumping up so many variants. And then one that is kind of another shot in the dark, and it's not an Ozzy pop this time, but it seems very possible and would be wicked to do. This November is the 25th anniversary of Toy Story. How sweet would it be if we got a pop of Sid with the Pizza Planet as a pop town? You get the Pizza Planet pop town, and you get Sid, the first human Toy Story character. The first human Toy Story character. But here's one that could be really realistic. It is an Alien Remix pop, a character that Mattel's already started doing for their lineup of Alien Remix. That's super new. So I think they're going to like catch up with this one. And I chose Alien as Lotso. We haven't gotten a Lotso Hug and Bear pop since, the first ones for the Disney lineup. Kind of bringing that back in Alien Remix form like they did with Zurg, or I should say the 2 variants of Zurg that are coming out. It's very possible that they could do Alien as Lotso, especially because Mattel's already doing it with the Alien Remix lineup of their own. The last one that I chose is probably the most predictable one that surprisingly no one has really like rumored yet, probably because they don't know exactly which ones it's going to be, but it is 2 Flocked Pokemon pops. And I think the realistic ones that they're going to choose here is going to be Flocked Growlithe and Flocked Rattata. I don't think it's going to be Angry Pikachu because I feel like they already skipped over Waving Pikachu to do a Flocked Pop, but they did the Target exclusive as a Flocked Pop. So I feel like they're officially like skipping over the Pikachus. I don't think they're going to do Cubone either because Cubone would be weird as a Flocked Pop. But if they were to go 2 pops and they need to be realistic, it's got to be Growlithe and it's got to be Rattata for those cases. But anyways, guys, that's going to be the end of this week's podcast. If you enjoyed this podcast, make sure you smash that like button to let us know that you're enjoying the content being provided to you guys on this channel. Comment in the comment section below of what your favorite pop was from this week, and let us know your predictions for New York Comic-Con 2020 exclusives. Press that subscribe button for more content like this podcast and any other videos we do in the future, and press the little bell beside it to be notified of when that future content gets released. Also, if you haven't yet, follow us on all of our social media platforms on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at a Funko Popcast. It'll be listed in the description below. But anyways, guys, thank you all for listening to this week's podcast, and we hope to see you guys next week on a Funko Popcast. 1, 2, 3, I'm out of here.
Peace in and peace out.